Ed and I are going on a ride. He's on his 2019 690 Enduro R, ready to rock and roll. And I'm on the 890 Adventure R, so we're going to just catch a little ride here and should be fun. Well, we were out riding, and it's a good day to be out.
Yeah, it just started to rain, so we're kind of used to that here.
Yes. Ed, I'm going to take a left here.
Okay.
Go ahead and just go on by me. I'm just going to
okay.
Circle around and.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead and turn in. I'll get behind you. There's Ed on a 690. Sounds good. He's got a Wings pipe on there. I love that thing.
Yeah, they got a nice beefy sound to them.
Oh, they really do. Just dirt bike sound. Some big potholes there. Yeah, go ahead and goose that thing a little bit. Let me hear that. Oh, sounds so good. I'm easily amused, though.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't take much. Now, these things are so torquey, too. You can kind of get yourself in a bad situation and maybe not have geared down when you should. You can get yourself out of it pretty easy.
Yeah, there's the Wings exhaust. That's on the 2019 690 Enduro R. All right, go ahead and hit it again. I want to hear that. Oh, yeah, it sounds good. You know, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about a thumper exhaust. It never gets old. It just never gets old. I mean, this is a inline twin, and I love it, but I mean, I do love the sound of a thumper. Well, I guess this is how we know we're in Oregon. We're always getting rained on.
We started out in the sun, but you know, that's the way it goes.
It is. But like we've said before, a rainy ride is better than no ride.
That's right.
And we had just enough time today to get a little quick ride in. I'm trying out these Klim Inversion gloves for the first time today. I have mediums, and my hands are pretty small, so but that's the size I usually take. And it's 46 degrees, as you can see here, and they're warm with the air guards here, the crash guards. My hands are actually pretty warm. If I had heated grips, I would be set. I like them because they're thin. They're not overly insulated. They're not bulky. They have silicone here. Gives me a good grip on the grips. So I'm actually pretty impressed with them. I don't like it when the gloves get too bulky.
Yeah, they're not as, especially if your hands get cold, man, it just feels like you go to break or shift and you got clubs on your hand.
Oh, I know.
Your bike wired for heated grips, or you just have to put the Oxfords on?
Well, I'm tempted to put the Oxfords on because KTM has a heated grip shortage for the 2021 and on Adventure 890 Adventure R. So I'm in waiting for grips. I have the heated seat, but I'm going to wait to put that on until I put the grips on. And so I miss my heated grips quite a bit.
Yeah. Our both John and I have MT-09 Yamahas, fairly new ones, and man, they come all wired for factory heated grips, and you just throw those things on and plug them in, and it's nice.
Oh, that's the best. Well, I think you've got the Oxford heated grips on your 690, right?
I do.
Oh man, those are so nice.
They're very nice. The factory ones, the nice thing about those is everything's integrated in right into your handle and handlebar, and they look so clean. But these are very functional, and they're really nice grips.
Oh, they're great.
I don't think either one of us in all the bikes we have ever had one fail.
Nope, they're great. And I've never had them to where I needed them hotter.
No.
And they got the sport ones, the sport Oxford grips have a good grippy surface. Yeah, so I won't lie, I'm missing my heated grips, but they were supposed to be out in December, so we're in November now, so hopefully it's not too much longer. And for those of you who haven't had heated grips, if you're riding in a cooler weather area, that you just can't beat heated grips. I mean, they are so great. A guy told me years ago to get heated grips.
I don't out them.
What's that? What's that, Ed?
I said once I started using heated grips, I don't ever want to go without them anymore.
Oh, so. No, that's so true. And until you have them, you don't really realize you're missing anything.
No.
But once you have them, you really don't want to go without them. Comes a pickup.
All right.
I think it's the same fellow that went by earlier. He must have looped around.
It is.
I don't know what he's doing.
Well, from our previous experiences up here, it's usually something sketchy.
I know. That's unfortunately true.
We've driven by some really strange stuff.
Yeah, that is one thing about when you're driving off-road on enduros. You see weird things, some things you don't want to necessarily stop and find out what's going on. You just twist that throttle and keep going. Yeah, that's so true. We've seen things that don't always make sense. And the roads are really soft right now. We've been getting a lot of rain, and this is a gravel road, but it is very, very soft. There's a creek down there.
So you're the one that recommended these tires to me. What exactly am I running today? I can't even remember.
So I know you changed wheel sets a while back, and I'm trying to think of...
Well, I went from summer to winter, so these are the winter tires that do not wear well on pavement.
I think you're... I'm going to slow down and let you get up next to me for a second. Go ahead and slow down. Go ahead and stop for a sec. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got those Motos Rally Z tires. And those are great tires. Very aggressive. Look at those knobby patterns. Really, really aggressive. And they have a softer compound as compared to the Motos Adventure tire. So they'll hold up. The Motos Adventure tires will hold up a little better on pavement as a knobby. They're still a knobby. But those are the Motos Rails or Rally Z, Ral Z. I'm not sure of how to say it. And they have a little softer compound, so they're a great choice of a tire. And we run those many times in the winter because they'll hold up on pavement, and we're running these gravel roads today, and they'll last really well on stuff like this. So, but that's a really good tire for where we're running.
These clean really well when we get in mud.
Oh yeah, they got a wide enough spacing that they're really a knobby.
Don does quite a bit of research on tires. I don't have the patience for it, and
I do. I love tires.
Yeah, he loves researching tires. So he says, I think you ought to get a set of these, and I just order them up. And I looked in storage the other day. I think I got 7 brand new tires. I don't even know what they're for. So I'm going to have to gather up with him here and have him mark winter and summer and get some new ones on. And with the whole COVID shortage thing, they're harder to get now. So we're both kind of glad we ended up with a bunch of tires in stock.
Yeah, there's a pickup pulling out here.
Okay.
Yeah, it never hurts to have tires in the wings, because sometimes you just don't know when you're not going to be able to get a hold of them. Had a few potholes there, and the 890 has enough torque to just, so here's something here, and I could just, and that put that front end, floated that front tire right over it, and I was at, I don't know, around 3,000 RPM, so that's pretty nice. And with the fuel tank being a little lower, I can get around potholes. If I don't want to go through them, I can get around them pretty easily with that low center of gravity.
Say a command. Cancelled.
I mean, Ed, can you believe how good the suspension is on these bikes?
Well, they really are nice. I know it's a vast improvement on the 690R from the 2018.
Yes,
it was the last year, and the 19. They made a dramatic change, and oh man, it's really nice.
Yeah, and the 19 on, they used the Explorer fork, and I just found that the front fork on the pre-19 was a little harsh. I tried to adjust out, but I really couldn't. But the 690, 2019, 2020, 21, and on, they just have that Explorer front fork, and it's great. I mean, it, doesn't. I never had it bottom out. Feels plush, can handle the big bumps and the small ones. But the 18. I had a 2018. I remember hitting a pothole and actually kind of bruising my wrist a little bit, my wrist joint. I'm not sure, I didn't have maybe a small fracture, but anyway, that didn't happen with the 2019 on. Big improvement on those forks. And on the 890, man, I have no complaints on this suspension. Really, really, really good. The 790, I felt like the rear shock was a little stiff, but the 2020 890 or 21 890 has been really, really good. Very, very happy with it. So we're riding some loose gravel here. It looks like this car is letting us by. She kind of pulled over and braked. Thank you. Yep, she's letting us by. That was nice. Something up here, a crane.
Oh, they're trimming trees.
That's why I love these headsets, is we can call out obstacles, or we're running the Cena 30K with the mesh. The 50K is similar. Or 50S, and it works so good. Little quick shifter action.
I think on these bikes, rear suspension also is really good, and seat position is nice. The only thing John and I have talked about is, boy, these things are.
It's high.
They're not necessarily, they're high. I've got a 32-inch inseam. I'm not a tall guy, like around 5'9" or 10, and 155 or 60 pounds, so I don't have real thick thighs, so I can scoot. I tend to scoot myself forward as far as I can go when I stop, and I can get my front of my feet down pretty good, but John's pretty much got a tippy toe. I think that takes a little more skill, especially getting on the bike.
Oh yeah, you gotta, if you're coming to a stop, you have to, I've learned to think about it, because my inseam's about 30 inches, around 5'6", I guess. And you have to learn to scoot your buttock to the side before you put a foot down, and then scoot forward on the bike near the tank where it narrows up. And I do feel like the 890 is a little bit narrower than the 790 was. Just marginally narrower, but a little bit. So I feel like it's easier to get to the ground. But you got to think about how to get on and off. And I'm definitely going to do a video about that to give you some tips if you are a shorter rider. If you're not, it's probably not that necessary. But for you shorter riders, it can be helpful. And a beginner rider, I think you are better off on a lower bike. But if you've been riding a while and you're comfortable on a bike, then I think you don't need. I don't find that I have to make my bike choice based on height. But I've been riding for years, and I'm not an expert rider, but I am comfortable on a bike, and that helps. But I do like having the travel of the suspension and the plushness and ability to absorb whoops and bumps and washboard. I don't really want to put a link in or lower the suspension to change the engineered characteristics of this bike because it's so good. But there'll probably be a day as I get older where maybe I have to change how I'm doing all this. But for right now, this seems to be working out for me.
Yeah, you just kind of have to be aware. And I think the seats we put on these, what's that, lower it down another half an inch?
Yes, you got that concept seat on your 690, which is an awesome seat. I got it's the lower one. I haven't put a lowered seat on this bike.
Say a command. Cancelled.
I haven't put a lower seat on this bike yet, but I probably will try that at some point. But so far, I've just felt like I don't know, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, I feel a little, I just feel like I needed everything I could get on this one, so I went ahead, the seat's perfect for me. It's a comfortable seat, but I think it's just perfect for me the way I feel more comfortable being able to get my feet a little bit flatter on the ground.
I cut out to the pavement there, Ed.
Yeah, I'm headed behind you. In pavement and anything fairly flat, you're fine, but boy, when you stop on anything that's uneven, you better make sure which side you're putting your foot down on is uphill, or you're going to have some problems. If it ever gets away from you, it's gone.
Yes, and that's a good point too. Don't try to save it. One time I was riding my KTM 500 EXE, and I was on a side hill, and I started to fall over, and I finally got my foot down, but I was putting my foot down on the side hill. By the time I almost had the bike stopped because I didn't want my bike to hit the ground. I was about 4 inches from the ground and getting ready to turn the momentum of the bike back up, and I tore my calf muscle. That hurt so bad. And so I learned a valuable lesson that day. Sometimes it's better to let the bike fall down than try to save it and hurt your body. The body takes a little longer to heal. Now, luckily it wasn't my Achilles tendon, it was just in the calf muscle, so it was about 3 or 4 weeks of inconvenience and pain, but not a surgery or anything like that. But now if I do fall over in a situation like that, I'm letting the bike go and I'm hopping off and running. That was a good lesson. Some of the lessons you learn the hard way are some of the better lessons too. But now if I try to put my foot down on the upward hillside, of course, be a little more conscious about that. And if you, for some unforeseen reason, if you you do fall over, maybe the bike stalls out, you're going up a trail, the bike stalls out or something, you start to fall over, just hop off. Don't try to save the bike, because torn tissue takes a little longer to heal than you know, just letting the bike go and maybe replacing a crash guard or a brake lever later. But I think we're all programmed like that to save the bike. I don't know why, but we are. Yeah, it's 46 degrees, 46 degrees. It doesn't feel bad though with this gear on.
No, we got enough gear on. It's definitely tolerable.
I will say these inversion gloves for 46, when it was 50 degrees it was okay, but now that it's in the 40s they're a little, I'd be okay with heated grips, but without the heated grips my fingers are just a little bit cool. Not bad though, not bad enough to work miserable or anything. Got a truck up here stopping.
All right.
Slowing down anyway. They must be putting the reflectors down.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that car is flying. Hope it stops.
Yes, so I think they just temporarily put them down until they mark the road, because those are gone in the first snowstorm.
Oh, good point.
But I think they're just doing it to mark the road until they get the striping done.
At least you got something that way.